Well, hello everyone. I am the Nerdy Movie Guy, and this video has been a long time coming. Now, the first thing you guys are going to notice is the sound quality may not be professional. And the reason why is I am shooting this with an iPhone. So your next question may be, if you don't have the proper equipment, why are you making a video? The answer is, if there's anything I'm passionate about, it's movies. And I'm the kind of guy that can find some kind of hidden message or hidden meaning in almost anything. Now, it may not be the intended message from the movie, but I can pull something from it. And that kind of critical thinking is something I want to share with people. Every movie has a purpose, whether it's the director trying to make a point or the cast is trying to make a point. And behind every purpose for each movie, whether there's an intended message or not, there's something to be perceived from it. So that's kind of what I want to share with you guys. I've been watching movies forever, but these past couple of years, I've gotten into collecting physical media. I know, most people stream movies these days. I'm willing to bet that a lot of you do collect movies. If not, I am one of them. So, past couple of years, I've been buying 4K movies. I'm one of those guys that may not understand the technical terminology of the differences between Blu-ray, between 4K, between the different TVs, but all I know is 4K is something I've been told is the best, so that's what I've been purchasing. So, I've been thinking about which movie to review first. Love movies. There's been plenty of options, and believe me, there were probably 10, maybe 20 movies that I was struggling to decide on which one to review first. And my choice was Star Trek. Now, I am very, very, very late to the game when it comes to Star Trek. I've never seen the movies before. Ever. I did see the newer ones with Chris Pine, but I have not seen the original ones. So, just this past week, I finally put in the disc into my PS5 and sat down to enjoy and absorb Star Trek. Now, I don't know which versions there are. The physical copy I have says Star Trek, the original motion picture, director's cut. So I don't know if this director's cut has an extended runtime or not. There were some parts of the movie that I didn't know if it was the original version or it was extended. There are certain shots in space, and I looked at the time. When you put the disc in, before the opening credits roll, the movie starts the runtime, but there is a shot of space. All you see is stars in the background of space. And this runs for 2 minutes. There is beautiful music played in the background, but there is never any actual footage of any part of the movie. It's just straight 2 minutes of a shot of space. So I don't know if that's something that is included in the director's cut or not, but it was a great, intense way to start the movie for me. After that, of course, we get the opening shot of the ships entering this giant blue cloud in space. No one knows what's happening. All we know is they are exploring, and this blast comes toward the ship, and it's taking the ships out. So now we have this new enemy, this cloud with someone or something inside of it, playing defensive, firing at anything that gets near it. Now, this is a villain that's interesting to me because we don't actually see who or what is inside the cloud. So the opening shot, we get a mysterious, very mysterious villain that we really know nothing about. This adds to the ambiance, this adds to the mystery, and it was exciting for me to watch. Basically, without having a face for a villain, the opening can focus on the ships, the lore, the design, and that's something I enjoyed most about Star Trek. The further you get into the movie, the more characters we see and meet. The first thing I noticed about the movie that would force Star Trek to be compared to other franchises is it is undeniably unique. The ships, the characters, the costume design, everything feels Star Trek. And what I mean by that is I don't feel there's a character in Star Wars or Stargate or Marvel or DC. I don't believe there's a character in this franchise that you look at and you think, that looks like a Star Trek character. No, there is nothing like that. Now, maybe there is. Maybe there's a character out there that reminds people of Star Trek. If there is, let me know in the comments. I have not noticed anything like that in the movies I have seen. Now, when we get through the plot of the scenes to the opening, getting toward the middle, we begin to learn more about these characters. And as we get to know more about Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, the first thing I noticed is they have unique personalities from the start, which builds their character development. Captain Kirk, he has appeared to have flown before. He's been a captain before, but he hasn't. And we don't get a detailed explanation to why he hasn't been a captain as of late, but he is a captain now. And the ship, the USS Enterprise, has had modifications. Who knows what kind of changes they made, but he believes he knows everything about being captain and everything about the Enterprise. Well, as we learn, as the scenes progress, he doesn't really know a lot about the ship anymore because of the changes. So we really get to see him throughout the movie grow as a leader. He has to trust his crew, and that is a trait and a main hero that you want. Some movies don't have that. The ones that do, I think, pay off in a big way. Now, Mr. Spock, he has a very interesting opening. I've seen clips of Spock throughout Star Trek, but I have never seen the opening shot of him. I've never seen that first scene he is in the movie. So it was really cool to see. And what's interesting is because the Vulcan don't show emotions, that is something that I immediately could find something relatable within him. There are so many people that want to feel emotions, but maybe they've been betrayed by someone close to them, or maybe they've just been betrayed, period. And so they pull their emotions back, they keep it in, they hide it, they don't want to show it. But like Spock, they are aware. They're aware of what emotions they can or should feel. They understand what emotions other people have, but they're just withdrawn. So that's something that I found real interesting about Spock, is he is a very extremely relatable character for real people, for the real world. And as the movie progresses, he does show emotion at one point. You know, he gets that character development, but overall, being withdrawn is part of his character, it's part of his story. So that was something I found really interesting about Mr. Spock. Now, with the villain, it gave me Matrix vibes. Now, what I mean by that is, yes, I have seen Matrix before Star Trek, I know. But with the villain, when we learn more about it, when we learn it's more machine, it's robotic, it's almost feels like an AI, even though it really isn't. The vibes you get from it, when I compare it to Matrix, is in the sense of you find out later in the movie that the villain was created by man, in a sense. I don't want to spoil too much about the movie, but the villain is a byproduct of humans' actions. And that's something that the Matrix was kind of a part of. Many of the machines in the Matrix came from humans. And that's something that I think can be related to the real world, especially now. I don't know how relatable it was when the movie first released into theaters, but especially now, there's so much technology that is just advancing and advancing, and movies like Star Trek make you wonder, how far will this technology go? Can it develop some form of a consciousness? Can it take revenge? Does it have a purpose? Does it have a mission? And it makes you think about these things. And I found that extremely fascinating. That was probably the most interesting part about the movie. And that's what I love about movies, especially movies like this, that can give you a real world example and let you think about it. It makes you think about it after the movie. A lasting impression, a lasting effect. So overall, one of my favorite parts about the movie besides that is the lore. I love Star Wars. And one of my favorite parts about Star Wars are the starfighters, the ships. Star Wars has so many unique designs. It's amazing. Star Trek. Even though I've only seen the first movie, I know when I see the rest of them, there will be more and more ships. And that was one of the coolest things about the movie, were the ships. Just a unique design in general. The USS Enterprise, in my copy of the movie for the director's cut, I believe it was 2 or 3 minutes of just panning around the USS Enterprise. So that's one of those things I can't recall if that's supposed to be in the original versions or not. I don't know if it lasted that long. But I think for a first-time viewer such as myself, it paid off. It built the ambiance for the ship, and it was beautifully shot. It looks amazing. The 4K version of the movie really pops in color, in detail. It was just a beautiful scene to watch. So, Star Trek, I feel, had a great story. The characters had amazing character development. The villain was intriguing and very interesting. And overall, it was fun. It was a very fun movie to watch. You know, you watch movies with friends, with families, and sometimes you have that urge to pull out your phone because maybe you're just bored when you see so many different kinds of movies. But this is a movie, I didn't want to pick up my phone once. I was fully engaged through and through. It was a very engaging film. And it was just anything, if there was anything about it that I could take away from it, is it was the most entertaining movie I've seen in a very long time. So that's my takeaway from the movie, is if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend watching it. I know I'm late to the game. I know I'm not one to talk. But if you have an interest at all in watching this movie, I would ask, why wait? Go ahead and see it. I guarantee you'll absolutely love it. Well, that has been my first movie review. I plan on releasing many more videos, releasing many more movies, and I would love to see in the comments if you have any advice on how to make my videos better, how to make it look more professional. Maybe there are categories you think I should add to the video. Maybe there are certain movies you want to see me review. If you guys have any advice at all, I would absolutely love to have it. So thank you so much for watching. I've been the Nerdy Movie Guy. Go see movies.